Do you believe in predators built purely of adrenaline and spite? Creatures forged in the fiery crucible of competition who carry a gaze that can turn titanium to dust? We speak not of mythological beasts, but a man who stepped onto the diamond and changed the very atmosphere, a maelstrom of muscle and manic energy named Max Scherzer. He never just played the game. He attacked it, wrestling victory from the jaws of neutrality with a snarl and an unnerving, unmatched intensity, the very embodiment of the will to win, distilled into a lightning-fast right arm and two astonishingly mismatched eyes, one blue as a glacial cavern, the other brown as fertile earth. This duality, this striking, iconic heterochromia, seemed to mirror the pitcher himself. A beautiful contradiction, a controlled chaos that terrified opposing hitters and hypnotized fans. He was the hurricane in the eye socket, the legend whispered in every dugout about the man who feared nothing but failure. Max Scherzer was not merely human. He was a phenomenon sculpted from raw, aggressive talent and an unyielding work ethic that bordered on the obsessive. He stalked the mound like a coiled serpent, every pitch delivered with a violent ballet of kinetic energy, the ball exploding from his fingertips at velocities that seemed to defy the laws of aging. The secret to his perpetual dominance lay in that terrifying efficiency, an arsenal that featured a four-seam fastball touching triple digits, backed by a slider so sharp it felt surgically precise, and a changeup that simply vanished into the void. His consistency was legendary, a man delivering Cy Young seasons with the regularity others reserve for taking out the recycling, stacking accolades like ancient monuments across multiple franchises that benefited from his competitive curse. Witnessing Scherzer in full flight was like watching a lightning strike repeatedly hit the same spot, a demonstration of destructive power harnessed through sheer psychological fortitude. His celebrated tantrums were not mere outbursts. They were declarations of war against mediocrity, volcanic spurts of passion directed at anyone, including himself, who dared to slacken the pace of competitive excellence. He possessed a rare, visceral understanding of physics and psychology applied to pitching, constantly reinventing himself, adjusting grip, angle, and timing to maintain that razor-thin edge over batters who desperately tried to anticipate his next move. Even minor adjustments mid-game became legendary tactical maneuvers, demonstrating a cerebral command often overshadowed by his ferocious demeanor. His endurance became a myth unto itself. Defying the accepted regression curves of hard-throwing pitchers, he remained dominant deep into his career, fueled by a relentless desire to prove that age was merely a statistic. One of the quiet marvels of his career is that he once perfectly executed an immaculate inning. 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts, while visibly bleeding from a busted knuckle on his pitching hand, refusing medical attention until the frame was completed. This stoicism and self-inflicted pressure became the bedrock of his long-term success, forging a narrative where effort equaled absolute control. His legendary status was further cemented by performing extraordinarily well for several teams, demonstrating that his intensity was entirely self-contained and universally applicable. The true measure of Scherzer's mythical status, however, lay in his mastery of the big moment. Put him on the mound in October, and he transcended mere baseball player into something elemental. He owned the crucial game, the season-defining start, delivering performances of almost religious fervor where every pitch carried the weight of destiny. There was the time he pitched 7 innings of one-run ball in a crucial playoff game immediately after recovering from serious back spasm, displaying a pain tolerance that made trainers openly shake their heads in disbelief. A moment where flesh yielded to competitive spirit. This capacity for heroic performance under duress separated him from the field and elevated him into the conversation of true warrior athletes. But perhaps the most intriguing, almost unsettling fact about Max Scherzer is the meticulous, almost unsettling way he studied his opponents. During his time with the Nationals, he maintained a personal, constantly updated dossier on every single hitter in the league, noting minute adjustments in their stance and tendencies that even their own coaches might miss. treating pitch selection like a code-breaking operation. This blend of primal aggression and hyper-intellectual preparation made him truly unique. The climax of his legend wasn't just a trophy lift. It was the chilling, unwavering stare he locked on a home plate before unleashing a 98-mile-per-hour fastball, a stare that conveyed a singular, absolute message: "You will not beat me." The energy he generated seemed to ripple out, momentarily silencing the stadium, a terrifying calm before the inevitable storm of the strikeout. We look back at this career not just as a sequence of strikeout records and Cy Young trophies, but as the sustained, terrifying performance of a competitive artist whose medium was the baseball diamond and whose canvas was the psychological landscape of his opponents. Scherzer was a force of nature, a hurricane with heterochromatic eyes that blew open the doors to competitive immortality. He showed us that true dominance isn't just about talent. It's about the relentless, unyielding demand for perfection, regardless of the cost to one's body or sanity. Now that the roar has quieted and the intense stare is reserved for history books, one must simply marvel at the legend he constructed, pitch by agonizing pitch. Is such sustained, visceral intensity a gift bestowed by fate, or a self-imposed prison of greatness?